Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. on the Eastern time zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. We are syndicated on television. That's on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. And now you can find us on Big Country Station, and that's a FM, and this 97 point. I love this station right here. They're the biggest country, WZLA. And you can also still find us on all the social media sites. But anyway, we can get the word out. We are ready to do it. Okay, so I have Yvette Townsend Ingram with me right now. And I'm looking forward to this interview. I really am. And I'll have to tell you, Yvette, I thought everybody voted when I was a kid growing up. My dad's a Democrat. My mother was a Republican. It was in my blood. I just thought everybody voted. And then I found out years later, not everybody does vote. And it's extremely important that we vote, especially city council, mayor, because it all begins at home. Is that right?
That's correct. It absolutely does. And I think that it's, like you said, everybody voted because your parents exposed you to it, right? We have parents, unfortunately, today that's kind of phased out. They don't take their kids to the poll. I love it when I see families coming to the polls to vote together. And you don't have to, the mother and father do not have to be voting on the same issues. I've seen plenty of Democrat, Republican, or independent variances in the family, but as long as you make your voice heard.
Mm-hmm. That's what my parents used to say. They canceled each other out, but they still voted.
Yeah. That's right. That's absolutely right. But my name is Yvette Townsend Ingram, by the way. I am actually not on city council. I'm a board of county commissioner. So I'm a county commissioner. I am in my first term. Matter of fact, I just got sworn in December of 2024. So I'm coming up on 1 year of being on the county commission, and I absolutely love it. I fought hard to be abused this way because it is hard work. But no, I love it. I really enjoy it. Have been in the community all my life, been a community advocate all my life, really, even since I've moved here to Mecklenburg County from West Virginia. I fell in love with Charlotte and Mecklenburg County. And there's 158 people on average who do the same every day, who are moving to the Charlotte region. So, I'm just happy to serve, and I'm excited for people to tell me what it is that they need, and even to ask me, what does the Board of County Commission do versus the City Council?
Absolutely. We love Charlotte. We lived there for like 9 years around the Mountain Island area.
Yes, I live in that area.
Oh man, I loved it. And we had so many nice neighbors, and everybody was helping each other, and it was a private cul-de-sac. And I'll have to tell you, I was new girl in town, okay, from Alabama. And so there were about 8 houses on the cul-de-sac. And so I thought, man, it's not like it isn't, but I grew up in Alabama, you know what I mean? So it was just not the same. And so I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I love to cook anyway. I'm going to bake everybody here a cake. That did it, Yvette. That did it. Baking a cake.
That always does it.
So, I mean, it's closeness. And then we all grew really close. And it was when I left, when we moved back to Alabama, it was like I lost family, and we were just so close.
It is.
Community is huge. And you guys have great community outreach in that area. Whatever it is that you have a heart for, I mean, you can find it in Charlotte.
You really can. We have so many resources for people, and that is part of what I do as county commissioner. We're in charge of the services to people. We reach people who are marginalized, who need a little bit of help filling in that gap for whatever it is, whether that is housing, which we talked about today at our board retreat, food, health and human services, park and recreation, which spills into health and human services, our greenways and things of that nature. We take great pride in providing those services to our community. Now, city council is more like zoning requirements and police and fire and like the hard stuff. We're the soft stuff. So we take great pride in that. There are 9 of us on the county commission. I think that we work together exceptionally well. I just got off the phone with my chair, and yeah, we're biased, but I do think that we work very well together comparatively to other governmental bodies. And we try to work not only well with each other, but with other government entities. And for me, if you call me and you have a problem with something, I'm not going to say, oh, that's not my area. I can't help you. I would never say that. What I will say is, that's not what we typically do, but I can get you to the right person. Because I can always admit what I don't know, but I will definitely always try to get you to the person who does know. So, if you call me about your child and a Charlotte Mecklenburg school, I know all the members of the school board, so I would definitely point you in the right direction there. So, we try to be more collaborative, and it's because everything is connected. You talked about baking the cake for the community. That's that one thing that you need. You only need just one thing to make somebody feel comfortable enough to possibly share what it is that they need and what they're going through. So I think that's an excellent idea. I know I live on a cul-de-sac as well, and we have summer block parties and that kind of thing. We want to know that it's a safe space. We look out for each other's homes, all of those things.
Oh, that's what we did. We lived on Woodford Bridge Drive, and it was just off of Beatty's Ford Road. And
Yes.
So when we moved, we're again from Alabama. And so I said, do you think people in Charlotte do things like we do? I said, in other words, we always stop for a funeral procession. We'll pull up the road. And almost as soon as I said that, I said, why is everybody going slow? It was a funeral procession. And everybody was pulling off. And I said, man, we are home. I love Charlotte. I just love it.
That's it. Now, times are changing. Like I said, we're growing. You see that less and less often, but we're trying to preserve that type of community, because what you're describing is community. It's respect for your community. I actually there are people who move here who don't know that. It's like, I was riding with a person, like, why are they stopping? And I said, well, there's a funeral procession going on. And that's what you do. It's a sign of respect. So, if you got music blasting, you turn down the radio and you sit and you wait for that funeral. And it's also a safety thing. You've got a line of family and friends trying to stay together. You want to make sure that you're respectful of them and that you don't cause an accident or something of that nature. So, it's okay that things are different, but sometimes it just takes you explaining. Where then they're more apt to join in or be respectful and at least let you observe it.
Well, it's just not understanding, because we grew out in the division when I was a kid growing up. But then later, my dad bought a farm. And so we lived on a farm. So it was just, understanding the people around you and why they do what you do. Sometimes that's all it is. You have to ask. And so let me ask you a question. When people are running for office, sometimes, we see you up there, you're running for office, and we're afraid we're going to bother you. But if you never hear from us, wouldn't that be worse? I mean, you wanted it because you're active in the community, and you might have a quick answer for a problem someone has.
That's right. Seldom there are quick answers, but we want to make sure that we put out there how you can contact us, how you can reach us. And it's never an imposition. That is what you elected us to do, is to answer. So for me, like, I have a website, and mostly you can go to, we tried very hard to push our website, and it's mecknc.gov, mecknc.gov. You can go there, and it sometimes it can be overwhelming, that website, depending upon, culturally or, your age or something of that nature, because there's a lot on there, because there's a lot that we do as far as services. We were just talking today about critical home repair. Like some people don't know, there's no age requirement, there's an income requirement, but we do critical home repair, and we coordinate with the city's emergency and critical home repair. So we coordinate with that. There are places where on our site where you can find emergency food banks. That is something that is going to be incredibly more relevant here within the next month, as SNAP benefits are going to be depleted because of the government shutdown. There's going to be lots of things and resources that people need because of the government shutdown, which is why it's important for you to get out and vote. We have an election here on November 4th where you'll be voting for city council, town city councils like Huntersville, Pineville, Mint Hill, all of the towns. There's 6 of them. Don't hold me to it right now to remember. And mayor. So you need to come out and vote. And also, and school board. School board is incredibly important. You'll be voting on school board members. And you'll also be voting on one referendum that is critically important, not only to Charlotte, Mecklenburg, but to the entire region, really. And it is because of the explosive growth that we're having. Like I said, 158 people on average moving here a day. We need to raise the sales tax, and it's the sales tax. It's 1%. And we understand that there are people that, that's going to be burdensome too. But by raising it only 1% in sales tax, and it's not on everything. So it's not like on medicine or groceries or things of that nature. Prepared foods, yes, but it's not on those items. And that's going to generate about $19 billion over a certain number of years to shore up our transportation infrastructure. So for buses, rail, and roads. So that's critically important. Those are the things that I really, really want your listeners in Mecklenburg County to know about.
Absolutely. Can you believe half the show is over already?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Going to a commercial break, girl. We'll be right back in just a few. Everybody hang in there. We'll be right back. Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television Talk Show, where truth matters. You can find us on the radio, television, so all the social media sites there as well. I wanted to talk with you, Yvette, about safety.
Yes.
I mean, and it's everywhere. Where you don't feel safe on the road sometimes. The way people drive, and especially when the area is growing like Charlotte is. And we were living there, it grew from, I think it was like 400,000 people to 1 million people. And I mean, it was like fast growth. I mean, almost like an overnight thing. And I know it continues to grow like that. Charlotte, I believe, is the largest city in North Carolina. Is that correct?
It is now. It used to be Raleigh-Durham. It is now the largest city. It's the 14th fastest growing city in the nation.
Yeah.
And Mecklenburg County itself has 1.2 million people, according to the latest census. So yes, we're growing by leaps and bounds. And I don't think that we were quite prepared for that explosive growth. So with those growing pains comes issues like safety on the roads, just safety of people in general. I'm sure that you've heard about the gun violence and, the requests by some for the National Guard to come here. And I think that's overreach. I think that our people here do an excellent job of keeping our community safe, especially when you put it into context of that many people moving here per day. So we've got work to do, certainly, and we want all the help that we can get financially, but that's also the responsibility of our state legislature. So we will always work together to ensure the safety of our citizens, both on the roads and in their homes.
Absolutely. Let's also talk safety with kids, okay?
Yes.
And mentors. And I know this really has nothing to do with but I'm talking about home life. What can families do to bring the families closer together? I mean, most folks are working 2 jobs right now. It's hard for mom and dad to be there with the kids. But what are some things they can do to make home life a little easier and safer for the kids?
They can become engaged by, first of all, electing people who have an understanding of what you just said. And secondly, there are so many programs that we have. When you and I were growing up, or at least I was growing up in the country, there weren't any programs like these.
We didn't.
Like the Boys and Girls Club. We had Girl Scouts. I think Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, that was about it for what we had as far as programming in the country. But here in Mecklenburg County, we had so many programs. Right Start for Youth. We have the Girls and Boys Club. There's so many. You can go and just Google children programs. You can go to our website and look up children programs. And there are programs to keep kids engaged and out of trouble. We have a couple of new rec centers. Those rec centers have been vital to both elderly and the young, I'm told. The new one in the northern area of the county, North Regional Rec Center, they have tremendous programs for both the young and the old. They have their own sections. They have, and then they have ways for the younger folks to learn and help the older folks and vice versa. So we've got a lot of good stuff. You just got to be engaged. You got to reach out. You got to ask.
I love what you said about the older and the newer coming together. because you can learn from each other. I used
That's
to
right.
love to sit down and listen to the stories of my grandparents, and they lived in the Depression.
Talk about
And
it.
they would
Yeah.
talk,
Yeah.
and he would say, "Well, with all how did you live? I mean, how did you survive? I mean,
How
how
did
did
you
you?"
survive?
And my grandparents would say, "Well, we just worked hard. We worked harder." And so,
Yeah.
to make things happen, and they did. And we can all do that. But always there was this positive influence Charlotte, North Carolina had. There was just something about being in that town. I don't know what it was. I don't know. We moved 4th of July weekend. And so we were out there, and my husband Phil said, "Look, they're shooting firecrackers for us." And I said, "Oh yeah, look at those for us." Yeah. But I was just talking about the friendliness of the area and people coming together. But there's so many things, though, that sometimes we think, well, we're different. There's the older generation, there's the younger generation, they're worlds apart. Really, they're not, because kids are eager to learn from someone older. And older folks kind of want to know what makes the younger folks live and why they do
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, there's always going to be, younger people who think, my 22-year-old thinks that I know absolutely nothing, but, there's there's that little, that growing area where most kids don't think that their parents know anything at all. But no, but seriously, we have very conscientious young people too, who I'm just amazed. If you set the bar high for them, they will attain it. And so if you set the expectation that, you know what, you're going to get something from this older person, and this older person is going to get something from you. And the older people like the company, and they like learning new stuff. They like learning new technology and how to use their smartphone and how to use their tablet and how to reach out to their grandkids who may be in another state or town or whatever. So just those little simple things that we all do that we take for granted. Somebody else may need what you're taking for granted. So take the time to ask, and then take the time to sit down and just share a meal and share, a conversation, and you'll be surprised at how very much you are alike.
Absolutely. Charlotte, if I remember right, Charlotte was the banking capital of the U.S. I mean,
Still is.
they're like all over
Second
the place.
largest. Yep,
Well,
second largest in the nation.
Second largest. Oh,
The second largest.
I know that I had a lot of friends who worked in the banking industry,
Yeah.
but I want to ask you a question. This has to do with identity theft, and I'm telling you, small town, big town, it doesn't matter anymore. People are doing this from their garages. You get phone calls from people who say, and I'm beginning to get texts now. How can we stay on top of that? Is not to be taken, if you know what I mean. I'm talking about everybody, elderly, young people.
Everybody. You're right. And here's the thing. It is difficult now. There are people who literally sit in their job all day long is to figure out how to scam you, how to get around the safeguards that we put in place. I know for myself, I go to a large church that's on Beatties Ford Road. I know remember where Beatties Ford Road is, Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. And we have programs once a month that literally talk about how to not be scammed. I'm sad to say that even, at my age and what I do and knowing the business that I know, I've used companies that didn't end up benefiting me at all. And I spent a lot of money for them. But then you look at things now like AI, artificial intelligence, which can be used for evil and good. There's links. They want you to click on a link. Never, ever. I had to tell my mom this before she passed away. She would call me and she said, I got this message or this email that said that I could get a grant. I was like, don't click on that. Don't do that. It's called phishing, phishing. So what they do, and we actually get trained on this, like our IT department will send us emails to try to see if we will follow the instructions that they told us. So basically, do not click on a link and you don't know where it came from. If somebody calls you and asks for your information and you think possibly it's true, do not give them information. You call them back. And that way you know that you're speaking to the right organization. Things like that. Never just, if I can't emphasize enough, don't click on anything. Don't click on any link. Don't give your personal information out to anybody. But here lately, they're even going as far as to scare, people, saying that your grandchild, they can change the voice and it sounds like your grandchild, and they'll say you need to send this money immediately to keep your grandchild out of jail or to get them out of jail. And that it breaks my heart. It literally breaks my heart, because they're so predatory and it's so dangerous. So, again, just being informed. We try to keep information like that on the news. We try to keep it on our website. Don't click on anything. If somebody calls you, first of all, the tax people will never call you. They do everything by mail. So they will never call you. Kind of just knowing certain things, and at this point, be suspicious of everything. Just be suspicious of everything.
You have to. So one of our viewers said someone called her and said, they're about to turn the power off and to give them a Walmart gift card. Well, first of all, what good would that be? First, and
Right. Common sense, right?
Up on them. And luckily she did, but someone called me one day, and I had a little time to kill, so I thought, I'm going to talk to them. So they said they were from the sheriff's department, and they said that my daughter had been arrested. And first of all, I don't have a daughter, so they were just fishing for info. So I played along with the game, and I said,
got a dumb one. You got a dumb one.
So that was me. So I said, well, what did she do? And they said they couldn't tell me what she did. That was, and I said, would you want me to send money? I want to know what she did. And they said they still couldn't tell me. And I said, well, you know what? Sounds like she did something pretty bad. She deserves to be in jail. Just let it go. So I just thought,
I'm gonna let it ride.
No daughter. But they do that. They work by your emotions.
They do.
All the time. You know what? I can't believe the show is over. How can folks get in contact with you if they have information or would just like to hear an answer for a solution for a problem?
They can contact me on my personal website, and that is YvetteForMEC.com, and that's spelled Y, V as in Victor, ETTE, the number 4, MEC, MECK.com, or go to MECNC.gov. There's information there where you can contact me in my office, any of the county commissioners, but me specifically. I am very warm, very open, very welcoming, and I will answer any question. I've been known to talk on the phone for hours because I just want to make sure that you're taken care of and that you're engaged and that you have what you need. So I'm happy to do it.
Absolutely. And get out and vote. Yvette will take care
of you. Please get out and vote. November 4th is election day. Early voting is going on now. You can go to, and I had the website up, Vote MC. It is vote.mecnc.gov, and that's vote.mecnc.gov for Mecklenburg County, and it'll tell you where your precincts are. Now, you can vote anywhere during early voting. You got to bring ID. That is a requirement now. Make sure that you got ID and that you're registered. But you can register now and vote during early voting. But after early voting is over, and I think that is November 2nd, early voting is over, because it's over usually that Saturday. And then that Tuesday is election day. So November 4th is election day. Please go out and vote. Please.
Do it, or I'll come to your house and eat all your food. You don't want that to happen. Thank you, Yvette, for being with me. I know it was short notice.
It was a delight. No, I appreciate it very much.
And keep my info. We'll do it again, okay?
All right. I appreciate it. Have a great one.
Watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Continue sending email. It makes my day. Donna at
Absolutely.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.